District 76 of 7610, which is in Virginia. She is the member of the Rotary Club of Warrenton, Virginia. And she is a co-chair of, is it how do you say that?
Fauquier.
Fauquier.
It's always fun
Okay.
when people try to say it. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to make that a bad
Yes.
word."
The Anti-Sex Trafficking Alliance, or FASTA. There we go. I'm going to say FASTA. She is a business consultant by day, superhero by night. She is the immediate past president, district governor for District 7610, which covers 53 clubs in Northern and Central Virginia, past president of the Rotary Club of Warrenton, and mother and owner of Unstoppable Futures, a strategic planning and business consulting firm. Along with her Rotary Club of Warrenton, in 2018, she co-founded FASTA. The FASTA mission is to inoculate our community through awareness and prevention education and supporting survivors and their families when we fail. They are an alliance of community organizations, agencies, and individuals working towards this common goal. With FASTA members, she creates fast community awareness through a series of community conversations with partners such as the Fauquier County Sheriff's Office, Homeland Security Investigations, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, FBI, and NGOs. These forums are held in schools and churches since 2018. Topics have included human trafficking, sex trafficking, and most recently, sextortion. Amelia joined the Rotary Action Group Against Slavery after speaking at the 2019 Rotary International Convention in Hamburg, Germany, and in 2022 in Houston, 2023 in Melbourne, and most recently 2025 in Calgary. She serves as the vice chair of the RAGAS Global Board of Directors and as the RAGAS State Coordinator for Virginia. Additionally, she is the Zone 33 representative on Director Patrick Eek's Human Trafficking Prevention Task Force. Aside from Rotary and ending human trafficking, Amelia's passions and hobbies include traveling, gardening, and enjoying a glass or two of wine or beer with friends and loved ones. She lives in Warrenton, Virginia with her husband, Troy, and their daughters, Amelia, Grace, and Bitsy. I have also been privileged to get to know Amelia and as part of the RAGAS board since I've joined in July, but I have known her a little bit before then, and I've just really enjoyed working with her. And I am anxious to have her lend her expertise and hopefully teach all of us a little bit about what RAGAS does and how we can work together and coordinate as a club. So take it away, Amelia.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everyone who's taken the time to be on this morning or this evening, wherever you are in the world. But I'm excited to be able to spend some time with you. I'm actually glad that I designed the program the way I did because I'm going to leave some Rotary stuff in there, thinking maybe we would have some guests that don't know a lot about Rotary. And I was right. Look at that. But that said, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Rotary, about action groups and fellowships, which is one of the things that Karen asked me to kind of touch on, and then dive into what does a Rotary Action Group Against Slavery, what do we do? How is it a little bit different than what a club like yours does? It's a cause-based club, and then how we can support you in that. So I'm going to start off with a big Rotary and kind of dive from there. So kind of walking through this big Rotary. For those of you that aren't familiar with us, we are the oldest service organization in the world. We were founded in 1905. And we have 46,000 clubs, whether they're Rotary clubs or Rotaract, which is our college and young professionals program for Rotary. In fact, our district last year chartered the first in the world cause-based Rotaract club at George Mason University, which has a anti-trafficking focus for some of their classes. They're working on trying to actually get it as a major. So they're working on that process right now. But they had a group of people that were already meeting that was a club that was working on anti-trafficking for about a decade. And I went and talked to them and I was like, y'all should be a Rotaract club because you could do big things. So they actually just hosted a major conference last weekend on trafficking. It was their first one they've ever been able to pull off because they got money from Rotary, from our foundation, to be able to do the to be able to get a grant to be able to help fund it. So it was pretty cool to be able to see that. But by the numbers, we had 46,000 clubs worldwide on all 7 continents. On 200 with 213 countries, give or take, depending on what's going on in the world at that moment. About 529 districts worldwide. And then we have 34 zones. So when they said there's zones with that I'm on the zone person for with Patrick Eakes for zone 33, they partner those zones together. So there's 17 like paired zones around the world. So ours is kind of the mid-Atlantic area in the U.S. So part of Pennsylvania all the way down, actually Trinidad and Tobago is part of us for Rotary. So we go all the way down through the Caribbean and pick you guys up as well. And so there were about 1.4, depending on what numbers you're looking at, about 1.4 million Rotarians and Rotaractors worldwide. So we're people of action. We see something, we jump in, we do it, we get our hands dirty. We're guided by 5 core principles: fellowship, diversity, leadership, service, and integrity. And I think that that's important as you're kind of looking at what is a fellowship, what is an action group, how do you tie these together? But I love to travel the world. So when you said that about Vietnam, like, can I get to Vietnam this summer? Probably not, because I'm going to be doing some other traveling, but the world is my oyster and I want to see it all. But it's a way to be able to kind of say, how do we use our love of service, our love of connection to be able to go out and do good in the world? So with that, we have 7 areas of focus within Rotary. Peace and conflict, peace building, conflict prevention, used to be resolution, it's now prevention. The disease prevention and treatment. So we've been working on eradicating polio. We're almost done. There's been 5 cases this year worldwide, 5 so far. So we're so close to eradicating polio as an organization. But we do work with a lot of other diseases, malaria, bloodborne diseases, all sorts of stuff that fit in there. Water, sanitation, and hygiene. So putting in wells, putting in sanitation blocks, things like that, making sure that people have access to clean and safe water and easy access to it, so we don't see kids, especially girls, not being able to be in school because they're traveling to be able to get water, walking to get water, but also all of the other sex crimes that come out of the result of them having girls and women who are mostly the ones going to get water for their families. So we work on that piece of it. We work on maternal and child health programs, basic education and literacy, community and economic development. And then the newest one for us is the environment. So we kind of, those are the areas of focus within Rotary. And so we say, hey, if you have a passion for something, you can plug in and you can find a place that your passion can plug into, and then have access to other Rotarians around the world that are also working on that. And then your club can pick it up and your club's all working in it, or you can do it individually. I'll talk about that in a minute, but it's a way to be able to plug in, but it's also how you access grants. So when they were talking about grants earlier, our global grants, our district grants, there's clubs that have grants, all of this, if they tie into one of the 7 areas of focus, that's how you leverage to be able to get the funds out of it. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the big Rotary, really short, into like 4 minutes. So that said, we have kind of look at your club. So people join a club, you're a member of a club, the club is a member of Rotary, and you have access, and that's like your entry point into everything. So you have the Rotary Club to End Human Trafficking. Then we have these things called fellowships. Fellowships are like when my introduction said that I like wine and I like travel and I like to garden and I drink beer and all of those things. Those are things that we gather around within Rotary. And it's just people that like to do fellowship. It's one of our core values is fellowship. So it's the things that are fun or vocational that we like to do. So it might be there's one that's a Rotary fellowship for people that are strategic planners, executive directors. There's for people who are bald, people that have mustaches. There's probably not a lot of women in that one, but maybe people that like to do marathons, stuff like that. So it's a way to gather with people around the world that have a common interest with you, whether it's a fun thing or it's a vocation. So there's a whole list of if you hit the QR code, or if you go onto your My Rotary account or to Rotary.org, you can go up to participate, and in there is where all of your fellowships live. So you can see them. They usually have some kind of a cost to join. They're usually like around $15 to $15 to $50 a join. It's usually a one-time cost because it's all managed by volunteers and they're not they don't do grants and stuff like that necessarily. It's usually just the funds to be able to put on whatever their event is they're going to do at international convention, because that's when most of the fellowships gather, is at international convention. Or like our district, we do fellowships. Like we have a wine tasting fellowship that meets quarterly at a different winery. Our beer fellowship meets at breweries. We have the fellowship for scouting, scouting Rotarians, they do stuff too. So it kind of depends district by district or area by area, but the funds go into helping put on events like that. Then there's action groups. Action groups are the things that we're passionate about, the things that we care about, the things that we lean into and want to do something about. We might have an expertise in it or need to connect with people with expertise. So whether it's you're wanting to work with the peace rag, we're called rags a lot of times, Rotary Action Groups, rag, the peace rag, because you're wanting to work on peace and conflict prevention things. You want to work with malaria to be able to end malaria, or you're wanting to work on mental health, or there's one for empowering girls, there's one for refugee resettlement. Ours is the Rotary Action Group Against Slavery. So the action groups are there to really pull together Rotarians from all over the world to work on a specific thing. So we're full of experts who have expertise in that field and backgrounds that you can leverage, because a lot of us, when we get started in this space, whether it's in anti-trafficking or whatever these spaces are, we have a passion and we have an interest, but we don't have any expertise yet. So we need to be able to plug in with them. So that's kind of where a bunch of us on this call are involved with the Rotary Action Group. Oh, and you can go on to my Rotary or to rotary.org again to participate. You can see action groups and you can get the whole list, or hit that QR code and you get the whole list of, there's like 25 or 26 action groups now. I'm a member of the Rotary Action Group Against Slavery, and you can be a member of multiple. I'm a member of the Rotary Action Group Against Slavery, the Peace Action Group, and the Empowering Girls Action Groups are the three that I'm involved with because they all tie together. So I got involved with all three of them. I only serve on the board of one because I don't have the bandwidth to serve on any more boards, but you can get involved at any level you want, whether you're just a person that's sending money to support them in what they're doing, or you want to get involved in a committee or on the board, either way. So the Rotary Action Group Against Slavery, people ask me all the time, well, Amelia, why are you wearing a cape? Why are you wearing superhero costumes? And I always say, why aren't you? It's 7 in the morning at your time or wherever you are in the world. I thought you all were wearing costumes today. Haha. But but this is our opportunity to, I look at this as our community awareness, prevention, education, our CAPE plan. So I'll tell you about that in a second, but it's my chance to be able to wear a costume and dress up for you guys a little bit. So it's kind of fun. But I also believe inside of each of us, we have the ability to end human trafficking, modern day slavery, if you have a CAPE, community awareness, prevention, education plan. So with that, I'm not going to go into all the information about trafficking, because you guys are all very knowledgeable about that. But when you look at this big problem, we said we needed to have worldwide a action group around it. So in 2013, our action group was founded by some folks really out of the UK, but we have members from around the world. I'm something like 70 something districts, 20 something countries. And we're on 6 of the continents. We have nobody in Antarctica yet that's a member, but maybe one of these days I'll get to go speak in Antarctica and they'll all join, because there's like 20 members probably. But anyway, but that said, our action group, the Rotary Action Group Against Slavery, our focus is solely on connecting you as Rotarians and Rotaractors. So connecting our Rotary members, Rotarians, to empower them and equip them to be able to go out to engage their local clubs and communities to be able to eradicate all forms of human trafficking, whether it's locally or around the globe. So really, we look at it as like, we are here to give tools for you as Rotarians to go out and do good in the world on this topic, so that you don't have to get that analysis paralysis that oftentimes happens when you take on a big issue like this. You're like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I care about it, but where do I start? And I had one of those conversations yesterday. A guy down in Charlotte reached out, and he actually is going to ask you guys all about this. He reached out because he joined Ragus, and he said, I want to do something in the Charlotte area, Charlotte, North Carolina, in the United States. But I wanted to focus on working with kids coming out of the foster system. What programs are out there, what's already there to be able to help build. So I was able to connect him with a few folks that I know through Rotary and through speaking at conferences and stuff. But if you guys have contacts in your world, your realm of the world, in the anti-trafficking space, that are focused on foster kids coming out of foster situations or and their vulnerabilities. How do they go about supporting it? That's what we're here. Is he reached out and said, hey, can you connect me? Can you give me tools and can you connect me to more people? Sure. So I started that yesterday and I figured I was me on here with you guys today. So if you have some, send them my way because I definitely could use that. So we say, okay, why again the superhero costume? I always talk about we have four main superpowers as Rotarians. One, we're networked. You think about 1.4 million people around the world, people that are in all walks of life, that are well connected in their communities, that if we took those 1.4 million people and say, we want to go do something, we can do it. So, I mean, we're people of action. We go do stuff. So I like to joke about, like, if you wanted to reach the King of England, it wouldn't take much. I mean, it would take a little bit, but not much. So last year, Stephanie Yurchek, the Rotary International president, met with the King of England, and they held a whole huge big connection, a whole moment that they had together. And thank you, Laura. I just saw your email. I appreciate that, or your chat. But she connected very closely with him. So you could call me or just call Stephanie if you know Stephanie. But you call Amelia and say, "Hey, Amelia, I need to get a hold of the King of England." She'd call his guy. But like it doesn't take that much to get a hold of people, right? In the Rotary world, like there's like really nobody we don't have access to if we just think about how do we place that call. So really well networked people. We are great communicators. When we speak up about stuff, people know that we are telling the truth because of our four-way test. They know that if we care about it, it's probably something that they should probably care about too. We have access to all of the media. We have access to all of these tools to be able to get the word out when we want to get the word out about something. But we're also collaborators. We recognize that we already have a wheel and that wheel is a hub and spoke. So if we just leverage that hub and spoke and we go out and connect with people around the world that care about the things that we care about, we can actually do a lot more, that we don't have to be as Rotarians or as individuals solve the problem. We go out and collaborate with others, like people on this screen. And then lastly, compassion. As Rotarians, when something touches our heart, we don't go, that's a super bummer. I hope somebody does something about it and walk away. We instead say, okay, that breaks my heart. I need to do something about it. And so we then go back around the wheel and say, how do I use my network? Who do I communicate with? Who do I collaborate with? We have all of those tools together as our superpowers. So we said, okay, that's cool. We have these superpowers, but how do we give Rotarians, just Joe Rotarian who cares about this, but doesn't know where to start? How do we give them a roadmap? So we put together our comic book roadmap for them. For when that time that person has a passion, how do they go out and create awareness in their club? So the guy yesterday reaches out and says, hey, I joined, he's a new Rotarian, he's joined Rotary like 4 months ago, but last month he had a speaker at his club that was talking about the foster care system. He's like, dude, I never thought I would care about this, but for some reason I do. And I just, the more research I do, the more I realize there's not enough services out there. There's not enough data out there. I don't even know where to start, but how do I go bring more awareness to my club? So he reached out, he joined Ragus. He found that we existed. Oddly enough, that he found in the first few months of being a Rotarian that there was action groups, which is so weird that he actually figured that out because most people don't. He must have read his magazine. That's weird. But anyway, so he joins, he reaches out, says, hey, how do I go out and get some speakers for my club? How do I go out and find stakeholders, like step by step by step? So we go, okay, here's a little bit of a roadmap that you can follow. You can go, how do you engage? How do you find your stakeholders? Who should be in there involved in this if we're working on a piece of it? How do we do a community assessment? How do we go out and collaborate? All of those pieces kind of step by step. But what I tell people is don't let the step by step overwhelm you. It's a tool. It is not a recipe for a souffle. This is more of a ice cream sundae bar. You put it on in what order you would want to put it on. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to do that. You can do it in this order. It's just a tool to get you started so that you can not have to get that analysis paralysis. So we give these tools to our members and to our greater Rotary family so that they know, hey, when they have that thing that breaks their heart about trafficking, they can actually go do something about it and not start with a blank page. All of the action groups are membership based. They all have tools and things that are available to you, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But these are some of the tools that we have on our website. And I put our website and my contact information in the chat already, so you can scrape it and grab it and send me stuff. But we have our strategic plan that's out there, our CAPE, Community Awareness Prevention Education Strategic Plan. We have a roadmap with all sorts of tools and playbook and all the different things that are out there to make it easy for you to go out and find stuff, to do things within the anti-trafficking space. We have a lot of the major industry awareness resources that are out there. We have vetted curriculum that we went through and said, okay, a lot of Rotarians like, yeah, we want to bring curriculum into our schools. And then they're like, we should write our own curriculum. No, you should not write your own curriculum. because chances are you don't know you're doing the right curriculum. You don't have an experience in it. You just have a broken heart. Like I wouldn't even go out and do that. And like I've been in this space for a little while, and I would still say go use curriculum. So we said, okay, here's some criteria to scrub curriculum against. But then also over here is some curriculum that we've scrubbed that we said, here are some good ones here in the US that you can use. And a lot of the ones that are available in the US are you can use elsewhere and get in other languages. So we said, here's a start, go from there. Here's how to go. If you use this criteria wherever you are in the world, you can use that same criteria to scrub the curriculum that you're looking at so you don't have to start from scratch. We also put out some district and club pledges on human trafficking. So whatever district you're in the world, they can sign a pledge to say that human trafficking is something that they care about and they want to do something about. I'm speaking at a district conference tomorrow down in District 7570 in Harrisonburg, and their whole district, their district DG line signed the pledge. They're putting on a big, they're physically signing it while we're there on this big poster board, and they already have a press release and everything ready to go out about it to say, hey, this is something that we care about because they're on the I-81 corridor and they have a huge both sex and labor trafficking issue in that area. And they recognize it and they want to, as a district, do something about this. We also have a compendium of human trafficking laws. So Amanda, you might be interested in that also with what you're working on and what you just finished with your thesis, but we have a compendium of all 50 states. Some of them need a little bit of updating. So we're always looking for folks to help us with updating, but we also have many countries worldwide that we work with Jones Day Law Firm to do this compendium. And we're always training more and more researchers, whether they're attorneys or judges or paralegals or just people that love research to be able to help them put this together. But it lives on our Ragus.online website. We also use our grant, our dues and our fundraising to be able to help provide grants. So if you said, hey, I need a small grant to try this thing. Now, Robin's Club has received a couple of our grants. Our club, our Fauquier Anti-Sex Trafficking Alliance, we just got one of the grants for doing a training on human trafficking here in our community that we brought in an outside trainer to do law enforcement from the U.S. Marshals and Homeland Security all the way down through our local law enforcement. We did a big training last week for 3 days, and we used some of the funds for that. But it's $1,000 of matching funds. So you put in 1,000, we put in 1,000. You can combine it with the district grant. You can combine it with other outside funds. Trust me, our training costs a lot more than $2,000, but we had 1,000 there. I got another grant over here, put together, and I cobbled together $22,000 to put this together. So it's things that are out there. That are available for you. And the money is there until it's not. So it's first come, first serve. We look at it, say, hey, does this fit? Does it not fit? If it doesn't fit, how can you tweak it to make it fit? We want to get this money out the door and into our Rotarians' hands. It doesn't do us any good getting a 1%, 2% in the bank. I mean, does us no good doing that. Rather be out the door. So joining us, it's only $30 a year for 1 year, US dollars, or $75 for 5 years. So it's a bargain. For Rotaractors and for Peace Fellows, it is only $15 a year. So it's a super bargain at that rate. But you get it says quarterly. We really get our newsletter out almost monthly. We've had a couple of little hiccups because we just changed vendors on our newsletter. So we had a blip in there. We lost a month, but it's almost monthly. So I commit to quarterly, even though you're going to get more than that. Access to all of our tools, educational projects, all of those things, mentoring, all of that's available. When you join us, super easy. Just go on our website and join our action group. And from there, that's how we really help supporting you. You can connect with us. We're here to be able to connect you with others because I may not know everyone in the world. I'm working on it. May not have been everywhere in the world. I'm working on it, but I have Rotarians everywhere in the world. So I can, if I don't know something or know someone, I can easily go on and somewhere like this and say, who do you have? Like I asked for foster care stuff and I've already got one connection. So that's how you leverage our network between Ragus and just the Rotary network. So I already gave you guys my contact information, but you're welcome to reach out to me directly with an email, a text, a WhatsApp, or whatever, smoke signal, that's fine. And I'm happy to take any questions that you guys might have.
Thank you.